So Maker's Mark is changing up their wood finishing series from those confusing codes they used to use to names. And the first one is out, and it's the Heart series. And if you want to find out if it's good, then stick around. All right, so we have a very special guest today. This is Conrad.
Yes.
And Conrad, how do you know about our channel?
Well, you did a video with Dwayne DePore on his large vault collection in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And that's how I got introduced to you. And you also talked about bourbon heads, so both of us are bourbon heads. And so that I started watching your channel, and I joined your Patreon. Haven't been on one of your trips, but I'm looking forward to finding some time to join you on one of your distillery trips. And I think you've got a charity thing going on in Houston. I think I'm going to try to attend that as well.
That's awesome.
If possible.
That's awesome. So yeah, that's probably most people's way that they saw the channel for the first time. A lot of people were introduced to Dwayne Pour and his amazing collection, and then he parlayed that into a private whiskey group called Bourbon Heads. I believe it's bourbonheads.com. But yeah, appreciate the support on the podcast. And you reached out to me and said that you got your hands on some special bottles on a trip to Kentucky lately. And I said, you know what? We can do some reviews. So come on over and let's drink some whiskey. So
happy to do it.
Tell us about this bottle here that you brought. What was the source of this whiskey? You got it on your trip?
So I went to Kentucky during Bourbon Week. And among some of the distillery visits I went to, I decided to head over to Maker's Mark. I've drank Maker's Mark a long time ago and hadn't revisited in a while, but I just happened to go there, and sure enough, they had their June release of the Heart release available. And they tell me that they're moving away from the codes on their special finish releases to now having names on them. So,
okay. So instead of like BRT or FAE or BEP or whatever, now they're going to be named.
And they're calling this their second series of the finishing solution. And they apparently have 10 oak staves on this, French oak staves, to make it. Now, I also found something interesting. I haven't had a chance to ask them about it, but this has a unique curvature to the bottom of the liquid.
Yeah, so normally, whenever you're having your glass made, your bottles made, you're going to have your base be flat. And it very obviously is not. And I'm sure that there's a reason for it. It looks pretty, but I don't exactly know.
If I was guessing, maybe it shaped the part of the heart. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? So next time I visit, I'll ask them. Find out.
It'll be curious to see whether or not they have that in all of the future releases of this. Because this is a different shape of bottle. And when you have a new shape of bottle, you have to pay an awful lot of money to have new molds made. And I'd be shocked if they did a new mold for each one of these releases. But interesting little tidbit. The distillery is Maker's Mark. The SKU is the Heart release. And is there an age statement on this?
Not that I saw, no.
Okay, yeah. So no age statement. What's the proof?
It is 112 proof.
112 even?
Yep, 112 even.
Okay. So
and the notes are caramel, chocolate, and maple.
Well, we'll be the judge of that when we taste this bad boy up. So that's the proof. Do you remember what the SRP was? Which you paid for this?
It's a $70 bottle.
Okay,
$69.95.
$69.95. Okay, and is it a 700 or 750 ml? 750. So kudos to you, Maker's Mark, for having a new bottle designed and leaving at 750. Because if you don't know, U.S. law has changed recently, and distilleries are now allowed to bottle in a 700 ml bottle, which is the standard size in Europe. And many distilleries are choosing to do their new special release bottles in the smaller size, just to sell you the same product for the same price, but have 50 milliliters less in it. Maker's Mark did not do that, so that is good. So what do you say we taste this bad boy up?
Sounds good.
Very sweet on the nose. I definitely think that there are some s'more type notes on this. I do get a little bit of that chocolate toffee on the nose.
And for me, it's fairly smooth going down as well.
Yeah. Certainly not offensive. I mean, it's got the flavor that you would expect from a bourbon that was exposed to oak twice, whether it be, double barrel aged or stave finishing or whatever. But it's not over the top woody like some of the previous releases have been. So I think this is a pretty well balanced, and honestly, I think I agree with most of the tasting notes. It's got a nice caramelized wood sugar flavor that I'd characterize as toffee. It's got a little bit of a woody note to it that can only be described as like a campfire oak. There's a hint of smokiness in there. Definitely some chocolate. Think s'mores, which is what I normally get on most of the wood finishing products from.
I'm also getting a nice warm feeling throughout my body.
Yeah, at 112 proof, it lets you know it's there, but it's not
overly powdery. No,
it's not. I wouldn't say it's
low
hot.
Key.
Yeah,
it's a low key kind of warmth.
Yeah,
which I'm enjoying.
So that's all good. So how would you rate this product on a 100-point scale?
You would ask me to rate it.
For your palate,
I would probably rate it in the I would call it, let's say 90.
Okay. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm probably around a 89. I'm not going to go 100 on this one, but it's as high of a B as I could give it. So would you rate it a buy or a pass?
I would probably call it as a buy for special occasions.
Sure.
Especially you have a group of friends coming out for a special event, do that. Mm-hmm. For an everyday pour, maybe a normal Maker's 46
would do the trick.
Would do the trick.
Yeah.
But for special occasions
I think this one's going to be pretty hard to get a hold of. Yeah. So I would definitely rate this one a buy at $70 for this flavor profile, and then from an iconic distillery and one of their special releases, I would say this one's for sure a buy.
And we're making this video in August, and I suspect that this will still be available even in September, October if you go to the distillery, and you can at least buy one bottle, if not more than one bottle. So it seems like they're making an effort to do more production of it because there is a demand for it.
Sure.
So.
Well, and we'll see, what comes out. I'm sure that you'll be seeing these towards the end of the year with all allocated releases and all that stuff. But definitely a solid bottle, and I'd say if you get a chance to pick one up at SRP, I would not pass that up by any means. So, Conrad, we always give away some whiskey on the channel, normally samples.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
Would you want to give away some samples?
Absolutely.
We normally give away 1 ounce to each winner. How many winners do you think we should
I'd be happy to give out 5.
5. Woo! Conrad coming in strong. 5 ounces, and I'm going to match his 5 ounces from my previous releases from their wood finishing series. So I have FAE, BRT 1 and 2. And so you are going to be getting a sample pack that includes 4 of the wood finishing series bottles from Maker's Mark. And all you have to do to enter to win is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and you should probably ring the bell on YouTube, and that is a notification tool, so it will notify you when we post new content. You want that because 1, hopefully you like our content, but 2, we do a free giveaway in every video, so you're going to want to check that out. And most importantly, you got to go down to the video description below the player on YouTube, and there's a link in there that says free giveaway. You got to click on it, give us your basic information. We will run a randomizer and post that publicly on YouTube Post for accountability. Reach out to the winners, get your address, and ship you your samples absolutely for free. So, if you enjoyed this content and you would maybe want to think about supporting the channel, there are several different ways. You could do it the way Conrad did it, and you could go check out our Patreon. And we have a lot of member benefits there in Patreon. He alluded to my favorite one, which is the distillery takeovers, which I kind of curate a bourbon trip for you. I get priority access. We get private tours. We get to meet kind of celebrities from the whiskey world. But there's a lot of other benefits too. We do virtual bottle shares every month. We do release bonus content through there. We have other single barrel opportunities for you to purchase Patreon only single barrels. So there's a lot going on there. Secondarily, you could check out bourbonrealtalk.com's merch site. We have all of the things that you need as a whiskey lover. Everything there was created by whiskey lovers for whiskey lovers. And so you could check that out. And last but not least, you consider hiring me as your residential real estate agent. That's right, folks. My day job is as a realtor, and I operate in the Dallas and Houston metro areas, and I give epic bottles as closing gifts. I'm talking in the order of B-Tax and Van Winkles, and I've given away everything that you can think of. So all 3 ways that you can support the channel, there are links for that in the video description on YouTube, and we would love for you to show us a little support. And if this is your first time tuning into the channel, I'd like to let you know why we do all of this. And it's not just about drinking whiskey, it's also about community and connection. And that's something that became important to me because I lost my younger brother Sean to suicide. And in the aftermath of his passing, I was trying to find ways that I could, positively influence other people's lives so they didn't feel the way that he did when he made that decision. And I was growing in my whiskey passion, and I saw how whiskey was bringing people together. And it made me wonder, if I could get you connected to whiskey, could whiskey do the rest of the job and get you connected to others? And we started this podcast to help make that happen. But when you're going to connect, you need a forum. And a lot of the forums are filled with negativity. And those negative, kind of hateful people online taught us 2 things. One, we needed our own forum that didn't have all of that negativity. And we created one called Bourbon Real Talk Community as of the timing of this filming. We had about 30,000 members in there, and there's lots of great community opportunities there. We do a lot of fundraiser things. There's a lot of sharing and caring in there. People making friendships, helping each other book trips, all kinds of great stuff going on, and it's free. You can go join right now. The second thing that those people taught us was that if they can hate a stranger online, there's nothing that keeps us from loving a stranger online. And that's why we end every episode the same way, and that's this. If you woke up this morning, you're unsure whether or not anyone loved you, just know that I love you. And we'll see you next time on Bourbon Real Talk. Cheers.
Cheers.